So when most Christians are taught about salvation, they're taught this, that we exist over here and God exists over there, and the thing separating us from God is sin. But thankfully, Jesus comes along and becomes this bridge that allows us to get to God. But here's the thing, that's not actually the picture that Scripture paints. And it can actually lead us to some really harmful theology. Instead, the picture that Scripture paints is this. And let me explain. In Romans, Paul describes sin and grace as both having kingdoms. It's talking about this realm in which something has power and authority. And then he later goes on to talk about how we were slaves in the kingdom of sin until Jesus rescued us through his death and resurrection. And what begins to come together isn't a picture that looks like this, but one that looks like this. One in which there are two kingdoms. And while we used to be slaves in the kingdom of sin, Jesus has freed us to live in the kingdom of grace. And what this means is that sin isn't just some barrier that we have to get over. It's a force that has power and has enslaved people since the time of Adam. But here's where this image becomes even more helpful. Because often people will say, if Jesus freed me, then why am I still tempted by sin? Which is a question that this image can't answer. But the Romans image can. Because in that image, we're still in the midst of a battle between two kingdoms. We're still defending against the attacks of sin, but now we're doing it from a different position. Not as prisoners in the kingdom of sin, but as free warriors in the kingdom of grace. Comment unlock if you'd like to learn how to study Scripture in a way that unlocks huge spiritual growth.